Hi guys, thank you for joining me in my live stream. I know this is a completely random live stream. I've not done a live stream in over a month now. The kids and the wife have been off for school on the holidays, vacation time off school for the summer, and I've just not had time. I've done lots and lots of videos over the summer and recorded them all, scheduled them all, and just uploaded them to be scheduled for release. But not done any live streams, so apologies for that. So this is just going to be a kind of random off the cuff live stream that I'll be doing today. Just kind of talking about horror news. I did watch the Alien Romulus last week that I didn't think was going to be controversial, even after I seen the movie. But after seeing the film and enjoying the film and then seeing people's thoughts on it, it's quite divisive. And I thought, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that divisive. Not only is it divisive, but it's quite controversial as well. And again, I've no idea why that's the case. Maybe if you guys have seen the film, we can discuss that. There will be spoilers, I guess. I won't say anything about spoilers, but just in case, guys, if anyone talks about it in the chat, I can't really tell them not to because the film has been out for over a week now. Not just Alien, but any other film that has been out for quite some time, like Deadpool and Wolverine, for example. So yeah, that's what we're at today. There's a few other movies that have new images. There's some franchises that have got some news as well, so we can discuss all of that. This is just going to be a short live stream today, guys. Maybe about an hour or so, just to kind of say hi and just to let you know I'm still doing live streams. It's just a quick update today. That's all, just to let you know that I'm still doing the lives and that I'm still here, and that's it. So if you get anything to ask or anything you want to talk about, guys, obviously leave them in the comment section. I don't expect a lot of people to be here right now because, again, it's a random live stream at 8 p.m. UK time. And I know that a lot of my viewers, it's probably the afternoon for you guys. And you will be working at work or at college, university, school, wherever you are. That's where you'll be. I'll just need to mute you for a second because I'm drinking my good old tea. Mute. Nothing worse than a slurp on the mic. So the mute is needed. Let's see who's commenting. I've got 13 people watching, which is more than I expected. David James is the first to comment. Hi, David. How are you doing today? All the way from South Africa. I think, David, you're on the same time as me, possibly an hour before or an hour after. It's 8 p.m. here. It might be 7 p.m. there or 9 p.m. or possibly 8 p.m. I'm sure we might be the same. Not too sure. Robert Alessandrini is here as well. Hi, Barry. How are you doing, Robert? Good to have you here. And yes, David, glad still doing the live streams. Definitely doing the live streams, yeah. Like I said, it's been 4 or 5 weeks or so that I've not done any live streams. So I thought I'd best just get one out there just to kind of talk about anything, to be honest. This is just a kind of random live stream. I just want to say hello, and that's about it. But yeah, I want to talk about the alien stuff as well, because I just feel like it's controversial when it doesn't have to be. For those of you who are active in the chat, have any of you guys seen Alien Romulus? If you have, or even if you haven't, have you seen the controversy behind the movie? It's ridiculous. We'll get into it anyway quickly, but I just find it bizarre. David is 1 hour later. Oh, okay, so you're 1 hour ahead of me. That's not too bad. And so is Luca. Luca San Filippo. Sorry, Luca, I always butcher your name. I really do apologize. It's very Italian. You're 9 p.m. there as well. Jean Widdicombe's here as well. Hello, Jean. How are you doing? And Antonis is here as well. Hi, Antonis. Oh, you don't have daylight savings time, David, in South Africa. So you're 2 hours when I have the changeover. Yeah, so when we go an hour behind, you stay that hour ahead. Then you're another hour ahead because of that. So yeah, there we go. And you loved the Alien movie, David. I'm glad you did. And I think the majority of people do love the Alien film. Maybe it's the diehard fans of the Alien franchise, if you could call them that have maybe got a bit of an issue with Alien Romulus, and I completely understand. If you've got a legitimate reason for not liking the movie, hey, two hands up to say, I'm not an Alien fan. Nearly spilt my tea there. I'm not an Alien fan. I like Alien. Sorry, I really like Alien, and I really like Aliens, but the rest of them, they're just okay to good. So I've never had that nostalgic connection to the Alien franchise. I've never been a massive Alien fan. I collected the toys when I was younger, but apart from that, I'm not a huge Alien fan. So getting into Alien Romulus, I didn't know what to expect. Similar to when I went into Prometheus and Alien Covenant, I went in with no expectations and they kind of entertained me. Whereas Alien Romulus, I believe that, well, not that I believe, I think that Alien Romulus was very entertaining. I thought it was really good, really well done, really well directed. Again, I won't spoil anything just in case there's people in the chat that haven't seen it. But I didn't find anything wrong with the film. Some people say that there's too many callbacks to the original, too many callbacks to some tributes in the franchise. I only noticed one or two. That's how bad I am with the Alien franchise. And the ones that I noticed didn't take away anything from the movie. They were just simple callbacks that were meant no harm. When it comes to characters like Ash returning, but he's called Rook in this one because it's a different android. Some people say that that was bad as well. And I'm like, why? Why is that bad? You know, we've got androids in every Alien film. Why not have Ash, or at least his face, return? And then you've got people saying, well, it's disrespecting Ian Holmes' legacy. It's disrespecting Ian Holmes now that he's passed away. They've not just done it and wanted to do it without asking anyone. Ian Holm has a family. And I'm sure, or I can guarantee, that they've asked his family, can we use his likeness for this Alien movie? And they've said yes. So they've used his likeness and they've pulled it off. I thought it looked pretty good, to be honest. It wasn't perfect, the look of Rook, but it was fine. Didn't see a problem with that at all. I know that some people were saying, well, why didn't they just use Michael Fassbender's character since he's still, like, Michael Fassbender himself is alive? Well, it wouldn't make sense because Michael Fassbender was an older model. Ash was a newer model. So it makes sense to have him, as in his model, be on that ship because it's only set 20 years later or whatever. So the most up-to-date android at that time was the Ash model, which is now known as the Rook model in this movie itself. 2 seconds, guys. Go take another drink. Sorry, guys. One thing us Brits like is our tea. Drinking some tea. So let's go back to the chat. Here we go. I'm Rant. I am. How did you say that name? I'm Ran Transam. I'm Ran Transam 78. Of course. No spoilers here. I saw this and it was nothing special. Enjoyed it, but my biggest gripe was that the cast were so young and needed some adults. Couldn't take those kids seriously. That's one thing I forgot to check before coming into this live stream is what age these actors really are. I know that sometimes when you look at films and you say, oh, they're so young, they're too young to play this character. Like, prime example, in the opposite way, prime example is when Andrew Garfield played Spider-Man and then Tom Holland played Spider-Man afterwards. And people are saying, well, these, what was I going to say there? They're saying, oh, yeah, they're getting younger and younger. That's what it is. These Spider-Mans are getting younger and younger. And in actual fact, Andrew Garfield was older than Tobey Maguire was when he started to play Spider-Man. So what I'm trying to get at is never really judge by how they look in the films. The actors themselves might be a lot older than they actually are. Something I forgot to check. So some of these actors might have been older than Sigourney Weaver when she played Ripley in the original Alien movie. I can't guarantee that that's the case because I didn't look it up. But some of them might just look younger. But yeah, I do agree. Whether they are or whether they just look younger, yes, they are definitely a younger looking crew, maybe more experienced as well. But if they're good enough, I don't think age really matters. And I don't think that age mattered to me in the film at all, because it didn't take anything away from it, to be honest. But yeah, I can understand if you're looking for an older crew, like what you saw in the first two Alien movies, then of course you'll have some gripes with that. We've got our first super chat in. I'll go to that first of all, guys. Mad Blood sends in $5. Thanks very much. And they've just simply said, keep up the great content, man. Well, thanks very much. You can ask a question later on if you want to come back in without any more super chats. But I do appreciate any super chat that comes in. As I always mention, anything like that always goes towards the channel. So thanks very much, Mad Blood. David said, watched on Friday. Unclear what the controversy is about. So curious to what it's all about. Well, as far as I can tell, is it has got something to do with our age, which we've already mentioned, and all the callbacks that we have with the first two. And in fact, some of the other movies like Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, as well as Prometheus. I don't know if there's any callbacks to Covenant, but there certainly is to the other films in the franchise. So people are saying the film is relying on callbacks in order to keep on going. But again, me not being an Alien fan, I didn't notice all the callbacks. And whatever it was, I don't feel like anything was taken away from the film at all. So it beats me, to be honest. Gene said, Barry, did you know there's a director's cut of Alien? Yes, I do. I think there's a director's cut of Alien and Aliens, and I think I've seen both of them. But again, not being a fan of the franchise and having watched both the director's cuts and the non-director's cuts, I couldn't even remember or tell you what differences there were. If you know any differences, guys, let us know. But I can't remember what the differences would have been. Lucas said, I have really boring psychiatric theories and background that could tell why the movie is controversial, but I would kill the show, so I prefer to keep my mouth shut. You don't have to look at I love psychosis, psychiatry, all of that stuff. Being in the line of work that I do, we deal with that stuff all the time. And I'm the same. I like to get into the mind of people when they say something is really bad or something is really good, or they think something's mediocre. And I'm not the best judge of character, but I'm a decent judge of character when I read someone's review or comment, and I can tell if it's ingenuine or not, or disingenuous, I should say. So I love all that kind of stuff. So it's not boring to me, but it might be boring to the other guys. David said, I'm an Aliens fan and found this to be one of the better ones. Maybe put this at 3. Brought the horror back. I couldn't place the actress, but I remember now she was in Civil War. Oh yeah. The main is it Kaylee something? Can't remember her name. Again, she's probably an up and coming actress. Don't think anybody in the film annoyed me. I think Bjorn annoyed me a little bit, but it was his character, not the actor. The character was very very angry towards Andy, the android. Obviously, we find out a little bit of a backstory where an android had to sacrifice his family, which again, it's something that androids have to do. They sacrifice one person to save 100 more. But apart from that, he was the only annoying character, but he was intentionally annoying, so it didn't bother me. And David also liked the young cast. Yeah, I had no problem with the young cast at all. We've got another super chat in. It's from Andrew Rollinson, sends in £5 for the tea fund. Oh, tea isn't actually that expensive here right now. Again, if there's another recession, maybe the tea will, but you can get like maybe 500 tea bags for £10. Am I just making that up? Can't remember, but that £5 will go towards it, Andrew. Thanks very much. That's very generous of you. The Keggy said, I neither liked or hated this movie. Well, that's a genuine thing. You know, some people that's a good point though, Keggy, because sometimes when you say online, let's say I didn't love the Batman. I'll get people saying, you didn't love the Batman? Oh my God, you're a hater. You hate the Batman. Well, in fact, the best example was Scream 6. I said Scream 6. I didn't love Scream 6. And like, why do you hate Scream 6 so much? Are you racist? Are you homophobic? Are you transphobic? And I'm like, what? I just said I didn't love it. Doesn't mean I hated it. Doesn't mean I'm any of those things. I thought it was good. But you don't have to love something and you don't have to hate something. Like you said, you neither love it or hate it. Or like you said here, I neither liked it or hated it. So you don't have to love or hate something. It can just be okay. But for me, I thought Alien Romulus was really enjoyable. Not seen Aliens for a long time. Only last watched Alien. And I'm not going to say it's on par with Alien because it's not, but everything that happens in the original film is similar to what happens in Romulus. Maybe that's something that people have a problem with. But if you didn't like Romulus because, I don't know, it was slow, then you probably won't like Alien because that's also slow. If you didn't like Romulus because it had two endings where you thought it was finished and then it continues on, then I hate to break it to you, but you'll probably hate the original because that does the exact same thing. It feels like it ends, then Ripley goes onto a little mini ship, and then it starts back up again, and then we get another ending. So it's got the same beats as the original. So if you hate Romulus for those things, then you probably hate the original. So I think anyway. Kiki Iza said, way better than Alien 3 and Covenant. As far as I remember, I agree. I've not seen any of those. Well, in fact, sorry, I've seen Prometheus and Covenant recently because they're the newer films. But when it comes to Aliens, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, I can't remember too much about them, so I can't really comment on them, sadly. And the Kegi says, not better than Alien 3. Ooh, controversial. Again, can't judge because I need to rewatch that again. Oh, sorry, guys. Got to take a drink. Okay. Matt Bod said, every actor in Romulus was between 20 and 26 years old. Ripley, when they filmed Alien, was 29, but the majority of the other cast members in Alien were 35 to 46. Well, you've done my homework for me then, Mad Blood. Like I said at the beginning, I forgot to check up on that. And if that's the case, then fair enough. Although Andy looked a lot older than 26. Oh, well. Really young cast then. But again, they didn't act like young cast. You know, when you get a 20 to 26-year-olds, you look at a film like American Pie from 1999. Those actors were all between 20 and 26 as well. Probably 21. Yeah, 20 and 26, say, the main cast. And they acted like teenagers because they were supposed to. So that can be annoying. But these 20 to 26-year-olds in Alien Romulus didn't act like that because they had their heads screwed on. So that's why the age didn't bother me, because they didn't act like children. They acted like adults. Kiki Iza said, Alien 3 theatrical cut, no question, as in what's better or worse. I didn't know there was a different version of Alien 3. I'm assuming then there's a theatrical cut and a director's cut. What would you recommend then, the director's cut? Because I will watch it again, and I'd rather watch the best cut possible. David said, talk about a young cast. Found out today that Laura Dern was 23 in Jurassic Park. She wasn't. Kaylee Spaney is in Alien Romulus is 26. Laura Dern, I've seen this going around online all the time, and it's bizarre. Laura Dern was not 23 in Jurassic Park. She was 26 when the movie came out. She was born in February 1967, and they filmed Jurassic Park between August 1992 and November 1992. So she was actually 25 and a half when she filmed Jurassic Park. So she was older than 23, still young, of course. 25 and a half is still young, but she wasn't 23. I've seen some websites saying she was 22, then some websites said she was 21, and I'm like, she's getting younger and younger. But no, she was 25 and a half for definite. 100%. And David's drinking tea. I think the tea's going to your head, David. Lucas said, well, to keep it simple, when horror plays too much with the idea of born and beginning of life, could be really annoying to a big part of the audience. Yeah, I can see how that that can be the case because obviously it symbolizes like something bigger than a higher being, something bigger than just life and death itself. I can see that sometimes it can look a bit biblical, a bit religious. Yeah, definitely. Eli's here. Hi, Eli. What's up, Barry and the chat? What's up, Eli? Welcome to the chat. If anyone's just joined me, we're talking a bit about Alien Romulus, about the controversy behind it, and then we'll get into some kind of other horror news as well. If you guys get anything you want to talk about, we can certainly talk about that as well. And I'm only going to do about an hour tonight as well because I'm just back after 4 weeks or 5 weeks. So I just want to get back into the rhythm of things. So it's not a heavy-handed live chat, just a kind of chilled, laid-back live chat. Jay Wilshaw. Jay said, I think Romulus will grow on me. It's on a par with Resurrection for me. Resurrection was honest with no frills. The last I remember of Resurrection, I enjoyed it. Maybe that's why I enjoy Romulus. And since watching it about 20 years ago, I've heard nothing but bad things about Resurrection. So I'm kind of scared to go back to it and watch what I believed was a good film at the time, only to be totally squashed if I watch it again. So the last time I watched it, I enjoyed it. Kiki said, I think they should stop making Alien movies unless Ripley is there for a new Alien 5. I don't think it should rest on one character's shoulders. It's similar to like Laurie Strode for Halloween or Sidney Prescott in Scream. We shouldn't rely on one character. If we do rely on one character, then of course they've had an impact on us. But try not rely on Ripley for Alien because she's not always going to be around. Sigourney Weaver's not going to be around forever either. So I don't know. Sorry guys, I got a blocked up nose. 2 seconds. Whew. I need to skip some of the chats here because I've got an important one I forgot to mention. Video Savant says, is this a spoiler chat? No, it's not a spoiler chat. So if you've not seen the movie, you can stay at your own risk, but I don't control everybody. I hope whoever's in the chat doesn't spoil it for us. And I did say at the beginning, I'm not going to spoil it. So if you haven't seen it, then stay at your own risk, but hopefully nobody spoils it for you. David said, loved that they brought the horror back, and mostly in a good way. There was one cheap jump scare in there. I don't even remember the jump scare. There was cheap jump scares in the first one as well, though. But yeah, I don't remember any jump scares, unless I'm just hardcore. And David also said, thanks for clarifying on Laura Dern. She is 57, so checks out that she was about 26. Yeah, 25 during filming, 26 when the movie eventually came out. Ted Morgan said, I loved Alien Romulus. The ending was a bit bonkers, but I think it worked. Also love your videos, Barry. I hope you're well. Thanks very much, Ted, for the nice comment. And yeah, without spoiling anything, I felt like the ending worked and it was definitely bonkers. Where are we? Kieran Spruce, how's it going, Barry? When I read out the comment, I feel like I'm asking you how's it going, but it's going well. How's it going, Kieran? Transam, I'm going to call you, said, I'm like Barry on the Alien franchise. I'm not a huge fan. I'm a Halloween nut, so I'm not overly protective about characters or plot the way I am about Halloween. Ripley would have been great here. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so if you're not a huge fan of the franchise like me, as in I'm not a fan of the Alien franchise, then I don't really mind what they do. See, as long as I'm entertained with the film itself and it follows some sort of lore to the franchise, then I'm happy. I know enough about the franchise to know if they're doing something right or wrong. And I don't see anything that they've done majorly wrong. I know that people did mention that the Nostromo blew up in the first Alien movie and it would have been obliterated, yet we've still seen some bits of the Nostromo in Romulus. Come on, guys, that's not a major issue. It's not a major plot hole either, to be honest. It's just a bit of fun nostalgia to say, hey, look, there's the Nostromo. But if it was imperative to the storyline and they used this Nostromo as a way of using something on it to go forward with the storyline, then of course. But it was just pieces of the Nostromo lying around. Don't think about it. Yeah, video says, thanks. I just wanted to know what kind of questions we could ask. Yeah, you can ask anything you want, to be honest. If you do ask a question that requires a spoiler, then I won't be spoiling it at all. I'll try and give you as best as an answer as I can. And it doesn't have to be about Alien, guys. We can discuss anything. I'm going to go into the next topic quite shortly. I know we're kind of strapped for time because we're almost half an hour in already. Jay said, it'll be interesting to see how they work Alien Earth. Could be good if grounded. Now, I'm very interested in Alien Earth for two reasons. Nothing to do with Alien. For two reasons. One, Timothy Oliphant. He's one of the main cast members. And two, Essie Davis. She is my favorite actress of all time. And she is in Alien Earth. So I was already interested in Alien Earth. But because she's in it, then I will 100% be watching. Will it be good? No idea. But I'll be watching because of Essie Davis, because she is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Again, you can continue talking about Alien Romulus if you wish, guys, but I want to go on to the next topic, and it's Salem's Lot. Yes, we finally saw our first few images. Let me click on them. Yeah, I'm still in the background. We've seen our first few images of Salem's Lot. This is obviously replicating the iconic image from the original Salem's Lot from 1979. This movie looked like at one point it was not even going to come out. Now it's going straight to Max, I believe, streaming. At least we're getting it. That's the thing. And it does look good if you look for some of the other images. It's got that kind of Stranger Things vibe to it. Pennywise, it. Of course, it's a Stephen King adaptation. But there's something about it that looks pretty good. You've got Lewis Pullman in there, who is Bill Pullman's son. Viola Davis, smack bang in the middle, and a few other actors that you'll recognize as well that are in it. But some of the shots look pretty haunting and horrifying. Look at that one with the vampire's teeth. I guess that's one of Dracula's brides or whatever. Not too sure. I've not seen see, I forgot the name now. I've not seen Salem's Lot for a long time. I'm talking maybe 30 years. So I'll need to go back and rewatch it before I watch the remake or this version of Salem's Lot. I know it's not an all-out remake. It's just a readaptation of Peekaboo. It's a readaptation of the original book by Stephen King. But I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I've always looked forward to this Salem's Lot since 2020, 2021. It was supposed to come out in 2021. It got delayed to 2022, mostly due to COVID at that point. And then it just got delay after delay. Even after it finished shooting, production halted. And it just got shelved for a while. Now, there's other Warner Brothers projects that got shelved and will never see the light of day, like Batgirl. So we can count our lucky stars that it's not ended up like that. So at least we're getting a release. It might not be theatrical, but we're getting a release anyway. And by the looks of those images, it's looking decent. And because we've got official images now, I don't think a poster will be that far behind, as well as seeing a trailer. I think we'll get a trailer within the next couple of weeks, especially since it's out in October. So I'd say a couple of weeks, we'll probably get a trailer for it. So look forward to that. Yeah, and David said Salem's Lot images look great. They certainly do. Horror Fan for Life asked, huge fan, what did you think of Romulus? I liked it a lot. Well, again, I thought it was really good. I have got a full review for the film on my channel. So if you want to watch that after this video, after this live, you certainly can. It gives you all the ins and outs. But just as a short review here, I thought it was great. I thought it was better than I expected it to be. Not being an Alien fan myself, then I didn't know what not to look for or what to look for. I just sat down, watched it, and enjoyed myself. I love Evil Dead, of course, which is directed by Fede Alvarez. I I just love his style of filmmaking, and he brings that with Alien Romulus. Trans Am said, Barry, I know you're a huge fan of the Halloween the Halloween series. Where would you like the franchise to go next? Direct sequel to Halloween 1 again, or do you think they can do a sequel to Ends, maybe with or without Myers? I mean, I would like to see a sequel to Halloween Ends, but that's obviously not going to happen. And have Corey Cunningham survive what happened at the end of Ends. I think that would have been interesting. Him going after Alison and their baby, because they obviously done the deed, and he could be going after her with her baby. That would be interesting, but it ain't ever going to happen, so we can forget that. A sequel to Halloween 1 again, how many times are we going to get that? I don't like that idea, but I wouldn't rule it out. I like the idea of that anthology. I did do a few videos on it about going around town and doing like maybe 3 or 4 episodes of Warren County, 3 or 4 episodes of Haddonfield, 3 or 4 episodes of Santa Mira, and just all those places interconnecting together to create this whole universe for a Halloween TV series that would then eventually lead on to its own Halloween movie featuring Michael Myers, and the backstory would be refreshed from what we see in the TV series. That's my idea for it, because I need something new with the Halloween franchise. We're obviously getting more movies and or shows, but give us something fresh. Don't retread over old water again. If you want to do it from the beginning. Don't do it from a stop point or a starting point, because we've seen it already. Vidiot said, I remember enjoying the 2004 Salem's Lot at the time, but I haven't seen it in 20 years. Great cast for the time with Donald Sutherland and Rutger Hauer. Not seen that one. Is that the one with Rob Lowe? Or is that another one? I know that the one you're talking about is a TV movie, or is it 2 episodes like it? I can't remember. Horror fan said Alien Resurrection and AVP are fun rides. Thoughts? AVP was a fun ride, but very cheesy. And I don't remember too much about Resurrection other than I loved it when I last watched it about 20 years ago. And I loved like the water alien going through the water and stuff like that. Great cast as well, of course. You get Sigourney Weaver back. Winona Ryder was in there. Ron Perlman was there. And a few other recognizable faces that I love. And you've also asked, why so much hate for Ends? I love it. I've seen tons of people saying Halloween Resurrection is a legit better movie, and it angers me. Makes zero sense. I think it's just people over-exaggerating, people wanting to be angry about something. It's usually younger people. I don't take what they say seriously. Just take it with a grain of salt, to be honest. I think when they get older, they'll understand the movie more. I'm not saying it's the most intelligent movie of all time, but when it comes to other Halloween films, Halloween Ends is probably one of the most intelligent films in the franchise. It's not just about Michael Myers walking about stabbing people. That's basic stuff. Some people want that. Those people probably won't like Halloween Ends ever, but younger audiences who don't like it because they don't have Michael Myers stabbing people, I think maybe when they get older, they'll appreciate it a little bit more, like I did with Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It didn't have Michael Myers walking about stabbing people. I automatically hated it. But as I got older and understood it, I love it now. So, yeah, I think it'll get better over time for some people, but I love it. Jay said, I love Salem's Lot. One I wish that could be remade is Needful Things. It would make a great series. Rosemary's Baby prequel is coming soon called Apartment 7A. It's about the old couple. See, I just found out about Apartment 7A last week. Had no idea that was coming out. And I think it's just coming out to Paramount Plus, similar to Pet Sematary Bloodlines, I think it was called. Similar to that. As for Needful Things, another film I don't remember too much about. Funnily enough, though, I only watched that recently, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I forgot all about it already. That's the one with Ed Harris. Why can I not remember? I'm getting old. Getting old. David had a look at the trailer for Retro Halloween game. Looks like a bit of fun. Evil Dead 2. Yeah, I covered that on the channel. It does look fun, the retro game. Obviously, us growing up in the retro era, then we'll probably play it. But the one I'm looking forward to is, of course, the Unreal Engine 5 Halloween that's got proper graphics, and hopefully we get a proper game out of this, similar to like GTA and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, all those games rolled into one. I want to see it all. I don't want to see just one game mode because that would be very boring and it'll get very boring very fast, like I did with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Loved it to begin with, but after a week, it got boring. Hold on, before this gets cold. Sorry, guys, I always feel really rude for muting you when I do that, but if I don't mute you, it's probably even more rude. You just hear me drinking. Yeah, so the 2004 Salem's Lot is the Rob Lowe one. Yeah, I've seen posters of it, and I think I've seen bits of the movie, but not enough to know anything about that version of Salem's Lot, so I couldn't even comment on that one. I probably won't even watch that one in the lead up to the new one. Big J21 said, I have a bad feeling about this drop. I don't know if that's a line from a movie that you're mentioning or something I've completely missed. Sorry. Silver Cyclops asked, did you prefer Prey over Alien Romulus or vice versa? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. I would. Oh, I'm going to have to, off the cuff here, I'm going to have to go with Prey simply because it felt like a more unique idea within the Predator franchise than Alien Romulus did in the Alien franchise. Alien Romulus was a callback to all the Alien films, and it felt like it fit right in there with the Alien franchise. Whereas Predator, although it did fit into the Predator franchise, it was one of those films that was a fish out of water. The Predator going to a different time period and someone in that time period battling against them with the technology that they have versus the technology the Predator has. I would say that Prey would just edge out Alien Romulus. I'd have to really think about that one. That's a really good question. But for now, it's Prey. Horror fan said the first Omen was really good, in my opinion. I think the 2020s are the best decade since the 80s for horror, in my opinion. I mean, it's good, yeah. Obviously, we've still got 6 years to go. So far, so good, though. I really liked Barbarian. That was a fantastic horror film. Smile was a really good horror film. Talk to Me, another one off the top of my head, was another fantastic horror film. In fact, Talk to Me is one of the best horror films since, I'd say, The Babadook or It Follows. So you might be onto something, for sure. Big J asked, what do you think Alien World Series will be like? As in, like, a game? Like a American football game? I don't know. Or do you mean the series that's coming out, Alien Earth? Oh, Alien World, Alien Earth. I think you mean Alien Earth. I'm looking forward to it though because of Timothy Oliphant and Essie Davis. Trans Am asked, last one from me tonight. Have you heard any more news about the Christine remake? It'll be interesting to see that evil Plymouth Fury doing its thing with CGI replacing the old-fashioned techniques. Didn't even know there was a Christine remake coming out. Or is it just rumours just now? Not too sure. But if it does come out, I'm sure they won't do everything CGI. I say I'm sure, but I'm not sure really. Yeah, Earth. Yeah. I knew you didn't. Well, I didn't know you didn't mean world. I thought you were talking about American football there. Ah, David. Is Oddity worth a watch? This is one I know nothing about. Don't see a review, but an ending explained video. Yeah, I decided not to do a movie review for it. There is a movie review within the ending explained video that I've made, just a mini review. The reason for that is because the film came out last month, or a month, two months ago maybe, and there's no point in doing a review for it because I think anyone looking for a movie review for it has probably watched a movie review for it already. So I decided to do an ending explained instead. But within that, there is a movie review. Your question though, is it worth a watch? Yeah, I think it is. It's not groundbreaking. It's not amazing. It's not totally scary, but it's got some unique aspects to it. Some really chilling moments in it as well that makes it worth a watch. But yeah, I think it is worth a watch, definitely. Fede Alvarez needs to direct a proper Resident Evil movie based on the first game in the Spencer Mansion would be a wet dream. I agree. 100%, yeah. Fede Alvarez directing a Resident Evil movie? Absolutely, but don't make it ridiculous. Like you said, don't make it ridiculous like we got before. Give us a game version, the original game for the PlayStation 1. Give us that version of a Resident Evil horror movie. And Fede Alvarez, I would say, yeah. It's a line from Alien. Yeah. So I don't know if you joined later on, Big J, but I'm not an Alien fan. So any tributes, homages, quotes, and stuff like that, it'll probably go over my head unless it's a famous line. Then I wouldn't even recognize it. Whoops. Covenant or Romulus? Oh, definitely Romulus. Definitely Romulus. Romulus over Covenant for David, but it's close. For me, it's not. It's like night and day for me. I think, as far as I remember, Covenant was the worst one for me. But again, time might be kind to it if I go back to it. No Holding Back said, just watched Oddity. Wow, I jumped out of my knickers. Best horror movie of the year so far. It's funny you should say that. No Holding Back. You jumped out your knickers because I was watching it last night and my wife is away on a trip right now. And I said, I'm what? Excuse me. I said to my wife, I'm watching a movie. She said, what movie? I said, Oddity. Shat my knickers twice, as in I pooed myself, basically. And it's funny you should say knickers, because I said knickers as well. That's a fun story, that, wasn't it? Shat my knickers. How would you rank the Alien franchise? After watching Romulus, it secured its place as third best Alien film. The first two are still the best. The rest of the franchise is either hit or miss. I would be lying if I'd done a ranking for it just now, no holding back, because I only recently watched the first Alien for the first time in years. And obviously, I've just watched Romulus. And it wasn't too long ago, I watched Prometheus and Covenant, but I've not seen the Alien versus Predator movies for quite some time. And I've not seen Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection for quite some time. So if I'm ranking it, it'd only be from what I remember. But I think my top three, as far as I remembered, would be Aliens, Alien, then Alien Romulus. But again, that could change if I rewatch them again. As for the rest, I don't know. I'd need to see them again. Silver Cyclops said, do you feel member berries or nostalgia can make or break a movie? Did you feel Romulus had too much? Again, I'm not nostalgic for Alien, so I didn't notice any of those nostalgia moments. I have watched the Alien films time and time again when I was a kid, but watching Romulus, the only things I really noticed was seeing Ash as Rook, which is not really a nostalgic thing. The music was quite nostalgic, not because I love Alien, but because I remember that tune, because it's quite eerie. And obviously, Get Away From Her, You Bitch. That's all I really remember. So it wasn't make or break for me anyway. I just watched the film for what it was, and I really enjoyed it. Tid Morgan asked, do you like the Hitcher remake? I've always liked it. I've never understood why so many don't like it. I don't understand why people don't like it either. Sean Bean was great as the Hitcher. I thought it was really good. And I'm one of these people that enjoy remakes. I would say I was in my late teens when the remake horror craze started to creep back in, right up into my mid-20s. So I was quite primed for horror remakes. I felt like it was time to get remakes of either classic films from the 70s and 80s or just an updated version of them. And as much as I love The Hitcher, which is better than the remake, I wanted to see The Hitcher remake, and it didn't disappoint me. Thought it was really good. Take another drink. Sorry, guys. I'm going to show you this. I don't know if I showed it before. My son made me a cup holder. How cool is that? W. Wolfman's got Nards, my logo. How cool is that? Anyway, this is amazing. Like, this is just an off-the-cuff chat. I've got 20 people in watching, which is average for me these days. And I've got people talking in the chat. I expected 1 or 2 people to be here. So thanks very much for the support, guys. And that's why I only plan to do an hour, because I wasn't expecting to answer this many questions. Fantastic. Vidiot said, sounds like the Friday the 13th show is back on, and they're apparently doing an Evil Dead animated series with Bruce Campbell back to voice Ash. 2 good points there. Evil Dead animated series I'm not interested in. I don't like animated stuff. There's just something about animation that it takes me out, but I know there's a niche for that. So I think other people will be looking forward to that. As for the Friday the 13th show, I don't think it's any more on than it was 2 weeks ago. I don't think it was any more off than it was 2 weeks ago either. They've just replaced certain people, and that's it. They were still going ahead with it. But I'm glad that it's still getting the news, because it keeps it fresh in our minds so that we don't forget. And if we don't forget about it, then the makers of the show will not forget either. So it can only be a good thing if we keep it fresh in our minds. But totally looking forward to the Friday the 13th show. I think Halloween, the TV show, will hold back until Friday the 13th is released. I think they want to see how people react to it and how they make it. And if it does well, Halloween will probably follow the same formula. If it doesn't do well, Halloween will either not bring out a TV series or do it completely different. And there's a Halloween show question. Will the Halloween show have Michael Myers in it? I heard it might be about him in prison. Don't like that idea. I don't think he'll be in prison in it. I think that's a silly idea. If he is in prison in it, a lot of people will tune out because that's just stupid. It takes me back to Halloween 5 when he's in prison with his mask on. So no, I hope they don't do that, and I don't think they will. But I'm sure Michael Myers will be in it at some point. Without Michael Myers, it probably won't work. David said, I do hope Alvarez does make more Alien movies. He respects the franchise. He'll drop it. He'll drop the callbacks in future ones. Yeah, I think if there was a lot of callbacks in this one that I didn't notice, then he probably will hold back a little bit in the next films, because he listens to his fans. He goes on to Reddit and he comments on Reddit. So I think if he's listening to people saying, I didn't like this about it, I didn't like that about it, he'll listen because he's a fan, as far as I'm aware. He's one of us. So let's take it easy on him. Vidiot said to Tid, I really enjoyed the Hitcher remake as well. It's a solid action horror thriller. Yeah, definitely. Brian Emerson said, hi Barry, late to the live stream, so watching from the start. Thought Romulus was great up until the end. Oh, I'll just put that away. Sorry guys, if anyone is watching, I didn't read it all. Apologies. Brian, no spoilers just now. Try and hold off on the spoilers. To be fair, it's not the most spoilery bit, but don't want to chance that. So apologies, Brian. No Holding Back said, Longlegs and The First Omen are probably in my top 3 horror films of the year. I wasn't a fan of Abigail and In a Violent Nature. Enjoyed the premise of Late Night with the Devil, but not the execution. I would say one of those films, I won't spoil it, one of those movies are in my top 3 horror films of the year so far. Obviously, we've still got September, October, November, December to go. So it can all change. But one of the movies you mentioned on that list there is in my top 3 as it stands. Might not be there by the end. I'm going to see The Crow on Friday morning as well, so that could be up there. The Crow remake, that is. Yeah, the sets and sound design of Romulus called back to the first movie was incredible. I think this was one you needed to see in IMAX. I didn't see it in IMAX, but I did feel the effect of it. I was a big screen anyway, and yeah, it was nice to hear that audio that we heard from the original. Cup holder is cool, yeah. W W W. Um, Jeepers Creepers Reborn is one of the best worst movies of all time now, up there with The Room, Troll 2, Madame Web. It's a gem of trash. I don't even think it's that good. Like, I know you can get something that's so bad that it's good. Jeepers Creepers Reborn goes beyond in a galaxy far, far away. That was like, I don't know, like a baby monkey could make a better film than the guy that made Jeepers Creepers Reborn. A baby monkey. What's up, Dark One? Transam said, any chance of there being a producer's cut of Halloween H2O? I've always felt that one had a criminally short running time. It's one of the best Halloween movies. My favorite is Halloween 4. That's an interest. It's weird that you should say that. In fact, I'm going to show you something, guys. This is just for you guys in the chat. Where are we? Let me get this image up for you. This is a teaser for anyone who's watching. A teaser. Ready? Here we go. It's about Halloween H2O, by the way. Boom. Let me just hide the comment. Halloween, Two Faces of Evil. You're probably wondering why Michael Myers is wearing a Dracula mask. A Dracula cape. All will be revealed, my friends. All will be revealed. And the reason I'm showing you that is because there is a reason why Halloween H2O is so short. I might as well tell you. It will be in this video anyway that I bring out. But the reason it's so short is because they had the detective storyline within Halloween H2O, or within what it was called at the time, Two Faces of Evil. And the detective storyline was completely cut out to the point where we only had the detectives at the beginning of the film. So because they cut the detective storyline out, the film ended up being so short. They didn't film extra detective scenes, but they cut Charles S. Dutton from the film, the actor, and they had to fill in the blanks and make it a little bit longer than it is. But yeah, the reason it's so short is because there was a whole detective story that was cut last minute. But there'll be more on that when I bring out my scrapped scripts for Halloween H2O. But I'm glad you asked. That one said, Jeepers Creepers Reborn was upsetting. Oh, to say the least. Oh, yes, Nosferatu. Hoping Nosferatu, Salem's Lot, Smile 2, and Speak No Evil remake are good. Early reviews came out for Speak No Evil, and they said it's Blumhouse's best movie in a while. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Of course, my friend James McAvoy's in it. Me and James used to work together in Sainsbury's. I worked in the fruit and veg department. James worked in the bakery, and it's good to see him doing better than me. Nah, seriously though, he's doing well. Long way from Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's is a supermarket chain that we both worked in, guys. I've always wondered who feeds, washes, and cuts Michael's hair when he's in Smith's Grove. I guess he's catatonic, but still, you never know if he'll snap out of it. Yeah, he probably just sits there and lets them do it, and he probably eats when nobody's watching, sleeps when no one's watching. Don't know if he washes though. Damien Clark says, do you think Freddy will be back for a sequel to Romulus, or most likely come after 10 years to remake another classic? Well, I think if Romulus does well, they'll want him back for a sequel, whether he agrees to it or not. I think he will do another classic film or a remake of a classic film in the future, and I'd be looking forward to it. The Flash and Rogue One brought back dead actors using CGI, and now Romulus did the same. What are your thoughts on bringing back dead actors using CGI? Doesn't bother me. I think if it looks good and their family members are happy with it and their family members are being paid instead of the actor, obviously, then I'm happy with it. If, let's say, The Rock, who gets $20 million a movie, dies, touch wood, he doesn't, nobody should die. If he dies and then in a future film they use CGI Rock and they pay his family $20 million and they're happy with it, then who are we to complain? He's not our family member. So I'm happy if they're happy. If they use, in this instance, Ian Holmes' likeness without asking his family, and his family saying, no way, don't you dare do that, and they do it anyway, then I would be angry for them. I'd hope that they'd be angry first, and then I would follow suit. But if they're not angry, I'm not angry. Damien said, I think he succeeded on making great horror remakes. Gets people excited about the franchise again. Yeah, he does. Yeah, because Evil Dead got me excited about the Evil Dead franchise. And obviously Alien Romulus was a really good sequel in an Alien franchise. Slasher101 said, that thumbnail is awesome. Thanks very much. I know that this is a sweary word these days, but that's AI. Ooh. Yes, it's AI. Is there a horror series out there, perhaps the overall rate's higher than the Alien franchise on average? Do you mean officially or just in my opinion? If you mean my opinion, then yes, there's plenty like Evil Dead and Halloween. What else? I say Evil Dead and Halloween, and I can't think of any other ones. Maybe A Nightmare on Elm Street. Not too sure. As for officially, probably not because of the first two Alien films. We need to see a Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy horror film. We already did. We did. It's called X-Men First Class. Horror fan said, my fiance is half Scottish, half Mexican. Would love to go to Scotland. That is a great recipe there. I'd love to be half Mexican. Don't know what I'd call myself. But yeah, Scotland's a beautiful place. It's usually rated the most beautiful country in the world. Gory Tiger said, they did CGI Rock in The Mummy Returns, but at least he was alive and he got paid for it, and he was there. But yeah, that was some dodgy CGI. Is horror frowned upon in Scotland? I don't think it's frowned upon. It's just not that popular, unfortunately. There's a film that just came out last week called The Bench. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a Scottish horror film. Not a great horror film, but at least it's Scottish, and at least people in Scotland are trying their best to bring horror back. It's not that popular in Scotland, unfortunately, when it comes to horror. So I'm just looking at my spot. When it comes to horror, it's few and far between for us here, which is a shame. But hey, I'd love to make a horror film. One of the guys from The Bench, one of the guys from the film The Bench contacted me a few days ago asking me to be involved in the next project, the next horror movie that they're making in Scotland. So I'm going to be part of that, which is cool. At what capacity, I don't know yet, but they'll be asking for my input. They'll probably send me the scripts and stuff, and I'll read it over and see if it's any good. I am no James Cameron, but I am Barry Cameron, so I'm the next best thing. No holding back said, I've been wanting to visit Scotland and Ireland, but flights are too pricey for me right now. When's the best time of year to visit? Probably, well, the winter's good if you go up the north of Scotland, if you want to see the mountains and stuff with snow on them, but it's really cold. Even in the summer, we've had literally no summer here. It's just been rain after rain after rain. If you don't mind or care about weather, then come in the summer. It's not hot, it's just warm. But if you want a really wintry weather, then come in the winter. But with our weather, Jay said Scotland is a horror film. Absolutely is, yeah. But again, the most beautiful country in the world can't be that bad. Imagine Infinite Pants and Shirts said, I feel really sorry for the real Alien fans here. Maybe it's goodbye forever. The movies you should keep in memory are Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Resurrection, and the end. Well, I don't know about that. I really like Romulus. Thought Prometheus was not bad. How about a Scottish horror movie called Hogmanay for an idea? I wonder if people would get that, because I used to think Hogmanay was a thing that everybody spoke about around the world until I found out that Hogmanay is actually a Scottish thing, which is New Year's Eve, by the way, guys. Romulus was kind of like a Rogue One type movie. That's not a bad thing. I love Rogue One. And in fact, Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars movie. So there you go. The Logness. Oh, the Logness. It's not called that. The Loch Ness Monster would be a good title. You mean the Loch Ness Monster? So we've got a place called Loch Ness. It's a loch. Well, we call it Loch, but for the purposes of this video, it's Loch Ness. So it's like a loch of water. So it's not Log Ness. I know I've seen people say that before. Log Ness. Yeah, it's a loch. A loch. Sound like Sean Connery there. I'm half black and Irish, so I have family in Ireland too. Me and my fiance have family all over the world. My wife's family's from Ukraine. Ukraine, not her dad. Her dad's grandfather. His name is Solomon. So a Jewish family from Ukraine. He had his son Charles, and then he had his son Robert, who had his daughter Claire, my wife. So they're from Ukraine, whereas my mother's side of the family is from Ireland, and my dad's side of the family, part of them are from Ireland, but the rest are from Scotland. Are Beetlejuice films considered horror comedy films or just comedy? I would say just comedy. I mean, I wasn't scared of the original Beetlejuice. I didn't even find it that funny. I knew it was supposed to be funny, but didn't find it too funny, to be honest. Didn't see any horror in it, but I know it's classed as a horror comedy because it's Tim Burton. But for me, it's not horror, but officially, yeah, it's probably horror. This Inferno, burn, baby, burn, said Alien Romulus. What's the best thing about this movie? I would say the look and the feel of the film was the best part of the film because you really felt like you were in that Alien 1979 world. I said this in my review, but they showed us technology that looked like it was made in 1979 that was supposed to be futuristic. And it's exactly what they've done in the original Alien film. So they tried to make everything look like it was futuristic as if it was made in 1979. It's so bizarre to say that, but that's what it felt like. So that's the best part for me about Romulus. There were some really cool scenes in it as well, like the scene where she's shooting the aliens and the acid was floating because the gravity was off. Some of the scenes were pretty cool. Again, some people had problems with those because that wouldn't happen in an alien film. And I'm like, well, it wouldn't happen in real life, so it doesn't matter. Boo. Where are we? So we're just over an hour now, guys. So I think I'm going to call it a day. Like I said, it was just over an hour. That's all I was planning. If you have any other questions, though, get them in now because I'm going to be hanging up the phone in a minute. Brian, so I'll come back to you in a second, Jay. Brian said, heard you mention Halloween series earlier. What's the news on that? Or is it not started filming yet? Yeah, there's nothing yet so far, Brian. No cast, no news. All we know is they're going to do it eventually. And I said earlier, I think they'll wait until they see if the Friday the 13th series is successful, and then they'll move ahead with that. Jay, have we got any big horror films left this year to come out? Nosferatu looks like a bit of a rip-off of the Coppola Dracula. What? Coppola's Dracula was a rip-off of Nosferatu. And I would say Nosferatu is probably the last big one that's coming out. We've got The Crow out this week, which I'm looking forward to. But Nosferatu is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Thanks for coming, David. I know that you're here quite a lot, so appreciate your time and all your questions as well. Transam asked, who's your favourite actor stuntman to play Michael Myers? George Bilber for me. Well, for me, it's probably either Chris Durand or James Jude Courtney in terms of actor stuntman. I know that Nick Castle is not a stuntman, so he wouldn't count. Did you see Alien Resurrection? Yes, I did, but it was about 25 years ago, so I can't comment on that. I'll need to see it again. Horror fan, does your wife love horror? Mine used to not like it until I showed her the Tales of the Crypt show. She's a semi-fan now. Well, lucky you. My wife doesn't like horror. She doesn't hate it. She'll watch a horror film with me, but she's not into it like I am, which is why I've got this channel. The reason I started the channel was because nobody wanted to talk about horror films with me, especially my wife. So that's the reason I'm talking to you guys. God, the questions are coming in quickly as I'm trying to finish, but I will answer them. What are your thoughts on the new news of the Friday the 13th series being back on track? I did answer that before. I don't think it's any more on track or off track as it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. They were just changing people around, that's all. But it's still probably as on track as it was before. Ripley 8 is basically a perfect hybrid of human and Xenos. That's what Weyland Yutani wanted to achieve in Romulus. I don't understand any of that, and it's probably because I'm not an Alien fan. So apologies. Did you see Coppola's shot to critics in his new trailer for Megalopolis? Yes, I did. And I won't watch it because it's a Francis Ford Coppola movie. I know that you have to separate art from the artist, but he's one that I won't support because he's an absolute creep. The Crow looks good. Did you see the trailer for Heretic? Yes, I did. I'll see The Crow on Friday, and the Heretic does look quite interesting. That's the one with Hugh Grant. Looks interesting. Okay, so I'm caught up, guys. So I think it's time for me to bow out for this quick live stream. Again, many thanks for everyone coming in. Thanks for all your questions and all your chats. Again, I had no idea it was going to be this busy, but it was, which is fantastic. I will try and get some regular live streams back up and running soon. The kids are back at school now. The wife's back at work. So hopefully this will be more regular in the future. I'll try and get my Halloween double scoops one out there soon. And my Scream, well, I forgot the name of it now. My Scream, The Morgue, coming out as well, which will be hopefully get some guests on for those because I always have guests on for those Halloween and Scream ones. So look forward to those coming soon in the future. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you soon. Before I end the stream, I will get my ending ready. But anyway, guys, bye-bye.
I'll be right back. What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone deny